Welcome. You've discovered the Paraspective, where your hosts Huck, J-Lo, and Shaggy discuss their thoughts, theories, and opinions on all things paranormal. This is an adult-rated podcast. Some topics of discussion may be offensive. Listener discretion advised.
Yo, what up, Paraheads? I'm Shaggy, and I'm here with my co-hosts,
J-Lo
and
Huck.
And we're part of the paranormal investigation team known as the Para-holiX, and we're here to give you our Paraspective. Now let's get this para party started.
Alright, take one and two, one. This is as close as we can get to the base of the World Trade Center. You can see the two towers. Debris continues to fall and to rain on the people below. There are people hanging from the windows 90 stories up, and a number of bodies have actually hit the pavement. Another one. Take two. Take two and two, one. This is as close as we can get to the base of the World Trade Center. You can see the firemen assembled here, the police officers, FBI agents.
Conspiracy today with a guest of the paranormal team, the Para-holiX, which we are members of, with our boy Monster.
What's up?
Yeah. Alright, so today's topic of choice is going to be on conspiracy theories and false flags. Like, 9/11, Sandy Hook. We're already giving away our opinion on something.
The Batman.
People are tapping the keys already. Yes, the Batman shooter.
Okay.
I love that pause. That was great. Derailed that train so fast.
Start all over again.
The Allison Parker.
All right.
I forgot about that one. Yeah, we actually talked about that. The reporter with the cameraman that did the first person shooter attack. Remember,
put the tape up?
He was Hardcore Henry.
The one that put the tape up and was shooting. Did you see that one where the CNN reporter they put tape up by the fence?
By the fence, but when somebody shot it from the side, and they were not even close to another deal. It was from a different complex.
They were showing two different reporters.
Are we talking about the same footage?
And they were in the same spot.
Was the young black lady?
Yeah, they were at the same spot,
spot.
and they were saying CNN coming live from like the East Coast and the West Coast. They were in the same parking lot.
They're set up like right next to each other. They're like this on the same fence, but it's not in the location at all.
So what you're saying is it was fake news?
It couldn't be fake news because everything's on CNN news is real.
So she wanted to have the look of where the accident happened, shooting happened. So she just took the caution tape and strung it along the fence behind her to make it look like she was where the shooting happened.
There's posts set up. There's posts set up where it's on, and then there's the fence behind her where she's in a distance from it.
Wow.
But whatever's there in the background, it's not the location.
And this is the people that want to call...
Yeah, you can see it's just blackness.
Yeah.
They want to call the alternative media the fake news. And they're pulling that kind of bullshit? Come on. That's ridiculous. I hadn't even heard about that. We were talking about with Sandy... What'd you say?
Allison Parker.
Sandy Parker. I don't know. Whatever.
Allison
They're all
Parker
starting to blend together.
Shot on live TV.
Hey, you had to have seen this one, dude.
I don't think I've seen this.
You haven't?
Dude. So what is it again?
I would have to pull it up.
Give me the brief on it, because I don't know.
Go, J-Lo.
I don't know. I don't remember all of it, but I just know that the person was... The shooter was supposedly Facebooking live.
Right.
And
Is this the guy that shot the guy on the side of the road? Like,
no.
that was a real shooting.
I don't even know what
he worked.
building
Okay,
it was at. Like a.
Apparently, if I remember correctly, he was a black guy and he was homosexual, and he was apparently said he was being harassed at work on both counts, and discriminated against.
Yeah.
And so, as revenge, he showed up to where the white. There was a white reporter, what's her name again? Allison Parker, and shot her and the cameraman and the person.
Okay,
I know what you're
they were
talking
like on
about.
a dock, like a fishing pier.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what it looked like.
Yep.
The wood.
Yeah. Okay, now I know what it is.
But when
So you're seeing the footage, and he's first person shooter. He's like he's playing freaking
He's got somebody
Call
recording
of
him.
Duty or
somebody
anything
Call
like
of
that.
Duty or some crap. He's walking up.
Yeah.
Pap, pap, and okay, now the first problem with the video, and a lot of people brought this out, is that there didn't seem to be the fire flash that was coming off the gun looked animated.
Yes.
Now again, when we talked about this in a previous podcast we said, now you might have too. I've never even shot a real gun, never held one in my life. So we were saying, okay, letting you know that, we're still saying that this looked fake. I didn't think that guns did that. Have you seen that footage?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't recall the gunfire.
I'll have to look.
You want to pull it up?
Yeah, I would like to see that again. But I do know
it was like a movie effect.
When you do go over there, first of all, you have recoil. Okay.
Right.
So if he's holding it with one hand and on the other, well, just for the sake
there
of
was
it.
no recoil either.
That's what I'm saying. There's no recoil.
Yeah.
It's going to shake his body a little bit.
Right.
Okay. So he's going to lose focus somewhere.
Right.
Okay. Then you're going to have the gun flash.
Right.
And then the deafening noise that close to the phone.
Which is going to just deafen the whole phone.
Oh, yeah.
It's just basically
it's going to be
like,
ringing.
Yeah.
As he approaches, no one makes note of...
Yeah, the gun's
I got
out,
the
he's
gun.
like cocking it.
Now,
I'm like,
okay, here's the explanation for the reporter, and I totally get this. Makes total sense. They are trained to block out belligerent morons that are around them, because it happens all the time.
But safety isn't an issue.
But here's the thing. I'll let that slide. That she saw someone approaching, but just was trained to block them out. But what about the lady that she's interviewing, who's got a straight up line of sight of the dude? She's not trained to ignore people walking up with guns pointing right at them.
I'm just saying, if I see a gun, I'm gonna call it.
Is this
no matter
it?
what.
yeah.
Yeah. So I'm thinking. Yep, that's it. Okay, so she now you see. Cameraman, lady being interviewed. He's filming the whole
You
thing.
can't be
He's
that
walking
close
right
and not
up.
say nothing.
He gets right behind the cameraman here. All right, let me get a good. Okay, how you doing, bitch? Pat, pat. Still, he's not shot yet. He's still just pointing the gun. Hi.
He's like, is that her?
And who's he filming, by the way? Because he ain't filming.
I don't know.
He's
He's
filming the water. He's getting
a view.
So who's filming this person?
What's he got a camera mounted on his hat like a GoPro? Is this a GoPro footage?
No, he's holding light. Yeah.
Why?
Yeah. Okay. Now pause it. This is the point. That was supposed to be hollow points, right? Mm-hmm. And those rip through a body, correct?
Yeah.
Dude,
okay.
the cavity.
How many times did she get shot right there?
What was it? Three? Four?
Three.
And she screams, turns and runs.
That happens. I mean,
It can happen to her. Let's say adrenaline kicks in at that point.
Okay.
You might not know. You might make it a little ways. But how far did she go
here's the thing.
that?
He could have blew her heart out of her chest. Her mind's still running. She's running on adrenaline.
Really?
Okay. You'll believe internally before you actually die.
I didn't even
Your brain will
consider
keep
that
functioning
aspect.
for 8 minutes after you are actually
All right,
dead.
again.
I mean, this is just crazy,
Okay,
dude.
where'd she get hit first?
Well, that's another thing that you don't see. Now, would you
I need
expect
to
see a lot of blood?
I would like to see entry wounds.
You're gross, Roy.
I don't know if I would expect to see blood like movie blood, Like
Well,
seeing
that's
shot
that close,
just
maybe a
come
splatter.
splattering out. I don't know.
Well, that close of an exit wound.
Bam.
Okay.
All right, did she flinch?
There's nothing going on at this point. He must have missed.
And at that frame, she should have been hit that fast.
But the noise should have alerted somebody.
Exactly.
Well, we don't have cat
right.
reflexes. I'll give
Well,
you.
no, okay, that's true.
What's around her leg, by the way? Isn't that odd?
Is that ankle monitor?
She's a felon. She's on parole.
So,
She lives on a boathouse.
Now, not turning the whole podcast into this episode, but here's the thing about it. of course, the conspiracy theorists online instantly called this a hoax. It's a false flag event to try to, we need to ban the guns, because immediately her father came out, bodies, this is going to sound rough, but body's not even in the ground yet, and he's already talking about gun control.
I didn't even see a wound.
I didn't see anything,
Right.
but she got shot, it possibly in the side of the rib cage and the arm at least twice in that region.
But here's the thing. If this was a hoax, right, and it's just perpetrated on us to put more fear and try to take the guns.
Gun
right?
control.
Gun control, which is, again,
Listen
what
to
the
what
father...
listen to what he's saying now.
This is the question. Where are those people? Because they were known reporters. She had, history at the place. She couldn't go back to work the next day, is what I'm saying. We're forced to accept a few things here. Either that really happened and those people died, just like the official story states, or they believe they were a part of some kind of training exercise, and then when it was done, taken out back, pap in the head, still dead, but under different circumstances. Or they went into the witness relocation program.
That's what I was going to bring up. I was like, dude.
I don't think they'll do that. I don't think they'll risk the
So,
chance.
like you were
here's the
saying
ultimate-
about her father was already on camera coming
Right.
out and
If you,
talking about gun control.
Right. She ain't even in the ground yet, and he's already talking about gun control.
if you want to know if something is real or not, and she's a real reporter with a real news
You go to
channel,
Snopes.com.
you search for Allison Parker newscasts prior to shooting. So I'm going to try to find this lady doing a newscast months before this.
They can't
years
be-
before this. And
Okay.
if I can't find anything on her,
Oh, I see what you're saying.
she's definitely a false flag actor.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
What do they call them? There's a name for it.
Crisis actor.
Crisis
Yes,
actor. Thanks,
yes.
Roy. God dang it.
That's what I do. What?
Just having
Chopping
another
up a
moment
Roy.
there. And that's the thing, is they claim that, and that's what's leading us into these false flag, conspiracy events that we're going to talk about. They claim that all of these people are crisis actors, and it's all
Wasn't
fake.
one of them on camera from the Sandy Hook and
The little girl
Paris?
talked about
the little
Andy
girl
Paris,
was one.
right?
No,
No, not the
this
Paris
is
one.
This is a woman.
The
Yeah, I know it's a
woman that
woman,
was
though.
there, that showed up, that she said, "Oh, my children were shot." This, that. Look, if they get shot, if that happened, God bless her soul. Okay,
Right.
But if it didn't happen, and this woman claims that her children were shot and it didn't happen, but she shows up the courtroom with the Joker killer as the attorney,
Now, see, that's what I'm saying.
it's the same woman.
Now, people are claiming it's not.
They
That,
say if you see this woman,
I've seen the footage.
run for
and
your life.
right, because
she's the face of death.
She's the face.
She
she's
showed
Lady
up.
Deathstrike.
She showed up in 4 different events that I've seen,
where there's been mass shootings,
and
supposedly.
those are the 2
Right.
that I distinctly know of. I can't remember the other ones.
Now we got to state the obvious here. Doppelgangers do exist. They claim that every one of us has a double somewhere, so you can't rule that out. But you got to admit,
It would be highly
it's-
coincidental.
Yeah, it's things that make you go.
Well, actually,
I'm
I
just
went.
saying.
I went to school with somebody who looked more like me than my brothers do.
Oh, John was like, I've been to school with someone who looks more like me than I do. No,
No.
damn.
No, they're my own brothers. We saw each other every day. He was like a grade, above me, and we would always look at each other because we were like, "Damn, kind of look alike." Right?
You look at each other like, damn,
Damn,
you look good.
I am
knew you were
sexy
going there.
as yes.
But one weekend, I changed my hairstyle. I went back to school. He had the exact same hairstyle, and before that, we both
Stalker?
shared the same haircut.
What the?
Telling
Both
you.
had the chili
Hashtag
ball.
synchronicity.
So was there-
We both had this part,
You need
and
to
then-
you need to contact him now and see if his hair's bleached blonde or
Oh,
some
man,
other
that was-
All I know is his
freaky
name was
weird,
Michael.
dude.
That's all I know. I don't know any more than that.
Well,
How crazy would that be to find out that was your brother and y'all were separated at birth?
He looked more like me than my brothers do.
Wow, that's crazy.
What if?
right.
Going off subject. I'm sorry about this, but what if
We're off the rails.
that was his actual brother and his other brothers that are his real brothers aren't?
Because he was given up for adoption. Bum bum bum.
Hit the brakes, pump them hard.
Okay, so trying to get back on track.
Who's
Someone
living
grab the
alive now?
wheel. Steer the bus back. All right. So did you find anything on Miss Parker there?
I did, but it's clearly not any newscast that she did.
Okay.
It's just pictures of her, which could have been mock-ups
Which
done
could have been
before.
Photoshop.
To pick up because
So
they were like people like us.
I'm
going,
not going
"Oh,
to
let's do
say
this."
she's not a crisis actor, but it all leans towards the fact that she is.
Wow. Well,
So,
right into our next one. Then what do we want to go from there? There's the Batman shooter. That's another famous one.
Jesus Christ.
well, and this keeps our listeners involved as far as current events, but this goes all the way back to 9/11, and prior to that. So, the 9/11 thing is something I comment a lot on Facebook. I always see the video they're showing where the explosions are happening, and then the one where they actually show the wing of the airplane go behind a tower where it's been photoshopped.
Yeah, it was like it just shows
like
it's there, but like
glitch
where to
or
go.
something.
Yeah.
And
there's even some footage now where from an apartment where they just show the building exploding and
They're right across the street.
Yeah,
and they're like,
I
"Oh my
haven't
god,
seen
it just
that
blew
footage.
up!" Yeah,
and that girl's like, "I'm leaving." She's like, "No, wait."
He's like,
She goes,
we
"I'm
gotta
out."
stay. We gotta
Oh
stay.
no, I have.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
I've
she's
seen
like,
that
"I'm
footage.
leaving."
Right.
They're all piling in the
And then
elevator.
some
they're
some guy
claiming that
goes over
from
there.
that angle, you should have still been able to see the planes, but you don't see no planes.
Right.
Oh, now how does that work? How would that work? Because the idea is it was Blue Beam project, right? The holographic project.
Yeah.
Satellite.
So they actually saw.
And remember, we look at this plane. We've seen commercial airliners all the time, right? They usually have little big logos plastered on the side because you want to fly with those guys, right? Because they're safe and everything. They get you where you need to be.
Yeah.
Not that day. Because guess what?
Definitely not.
This was a big, like they say, silver, dark gray with something on the underbelly of it.
Right.
Okay.
It had
which had a dramatic wingspan.
It wasn't a commercial.
It wasn't long.
It had an extra. It actually had an extra
Swiftly.
engine or something on one of the wings.
Underneath it, whatever that was, it was long and it had like a not like a shaft, not like a shaft,
Shut your mouth.
but whatever was underneath the underbelly, you can clearly see it. And the rear, the rudder wing, that one was sharp, like a fighter jet.
And here's the crazy thing.
But not like a F-15 or something like that.
All these conspiracies all just filter together with like UFO abduction, which is going to be another topic we talk about eventually. But someone said they saw that plane, one of those planes that was full of passengers, at an airport being trolleyed into a hangar.
Yep. Heard about that.
Shortly after all this went down.
Okay.
So where are those people?
I can't remember the lady's
Did
name.
we sacrifice them to the alien gods?
I
for
think they
experimentation?
sacrificed a bullet into each one of the back of their heads. But here's the thing. I can't remember the lady's name, but she wrote a book called The Methodical Illusion. And if you haven't looked this up, you got to check it out because she was a flight stewardess for, God, I don't know, 20 years, something like that. And she decided that she was going to write just, a fictional story about terrorism and stuff like that. So she wanted to go online and get some authentic terrorist names. And so she said, well, I'll search the 9/11 terrorists. This is before she knew anything about it. And started searching them up and discovered that most of the guys on the official list are still alive.
They're still alive. They never said.
So that sent her down the rabbit hole. Before you know it, she started to really look at the official story from a 20+ year stewardess standpoint, and she said everything that they did on that day was against what they are trained to do from protocol standpoints. None of it made sense. And so by the end of her investigation, she comes to the conclusion that those planes were landed, and basically they were told them what she feels that there was a drill. That they told everybody there was a drill going on. They landed the planes, got the stewardess off, the ones that did all the phone calls, because at one point she talked about being upstairs. None of those planes had upstairs. There were no upstairs on those planes, and so she believes she was in a hangar. They went through all the phone calls, did everything they were supposed to do, because one of the things she said was that there had been tear gas released. And she said, look, I'm going to tell you right now, in those kind of planes, the way the ventilation works, if some lady at the front of the thing sprays some cheap-ass cologne, everybody's choking within 5 minutes. Yeah. And this was tear gas, and she wasn't teared up or choking up at all when she said this. So she believes that they were escorted out into the hangar, did their part of the drill, in air quotes, then they were killed. And probably threw something in the plane to kill all the passengers, like something toxic.
What does that tell you?
Gas or something.
What does that tell you?
Exactly what I believe she said.
What does that tell you about our value to our government?
Oh, we ain't worth shit, bro.
Less than nothing.
Exactly.
Dude.
They don't give a damn about us.
The dirt's worth more because it buries
yeah.
us.
It's horrible to think about that our government would sacrifice us in the midst of to form a false crisis.
This is what I found out about myself, and this is what sucks, dude. Okay, my brother is former military. Okay,
right.
My father, a lot of my family. Okay,
all right.
And get this. This really kills me. Working at my place of work, if I die in an accident, my next of kin gets $40,000. Okay. Do you know what the military, if they die, when they get shipped home, gets
what?
$40,000. I'm worth just as much as they are.
Wow.
Dead.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Our military.
But these guys are carrying.
Right.
If I'm not mistaken,
you have a dangerous job,
like
boy.
$250,000 worth of
Pallet jacks
gear
are a mother.
on
No,
their
he
back.
can fall off the picker, dude.
Okay, I'm just saying. I'm just saying. These guys are like at 250 grand on up on what gear they're carrying.
Right.
Okay. That stuff's worth more than their lives.
Oh my
God. But they're doing the most dangerous shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
That they could possibly be doing.
I say it should be old school. You know, back in the day, the king and everybody, they led the charge. So I want to see.
You go right up there, dude. You just go ablazing.
Right.
Show them how bad you really are.
Right.
Walk into
so that
battle.
means give Trump the gun, and behind him all the generals, and send those fools right on in.
What is this? Charging.
Wrong.
Charging. You're fired. Charging mechanism. Does that mean charge you with?
I'm going to tell you right now, the Pentagon crash.
Jesus Christ! Don't. Ugh.
That is going to be, in my opinion, the one event that splits the thing wide open.
You think so?
Okay,
I think so
dude, when I
because
saw that,
more people now are coming out and saying we saw no evidence of a plane that size
Now,
wreckage.
guys, I'm playing devil's advocate here. Wasn't it CNN Spin or whatever?
Watch the video,
dude. They sent the video, 11 seconds. You clearly saw the plane.
A supersonic
white blur.
plane. No, it was a black blur.
It was a
It was a black blur.
Yeah.
You can see it, and as it happens, dude, there are no wings. There is no tail.
And they said it. Here's the crazy part. Like, shut the conspiracy theory stuff.
It blows into the
11
spot
seconds.
where they needed it.
Yep. Where they showed all the loss of money. There was a huge loss of
Donald
money.
Rumsfeld had just come out. Was it Donald Rumsfeld the day before?
Yeah, and said it was $2 billion.
No, it was trillion. It was in the trillions. And the office that they set up at the Pentagon
was
to review it and discover where that money went is no more. Wow.
And what happens?
Come on.
First thing to do, you see like a bunch of dudes just roll up and pick up scraps of random stuff. And what's the scrap stuff? That's shrapnel from that missile.
Yeah, they cleaned. Well, they basically contaminated the crime scene. Got rid of all the evidence. Like that.
But you can't find one single engine, one single seat, nothing.
Here's the thing:
the
engines that were found were not even engines that were for that specific carrier, that liner.
Really?
And there was wheel marks in the grass up to the motors. So it's almost like they had them in the Pentagon and then shot the missile and then they wheeled them out and dumped them off the wheelbarrow and run back inside.
It doesn't make sense at all, dude.
Well, look, if they really wanted to shut the conspiracy theorists up about the Pentagon, what do they have to do? What would be the easiest way to shut us all up? Show us the stop and rob footage. Come on, guys.
Yeah, because that's Denny's footage. The footage we're seeing was from a Denny's across the road. They went and confiscated it.
But there was more. There was cameras all over that place.
But they only said there's one footage.
There's no way that you can say that a stoplight camera didn't get it.
Yeah.
It got me going through a red light. Okay? I see stuff all the time through the footage that we have at work.
Exactly.
And boom, I can see a name tag across at IHOP.
We should have every angle, top, bottom, side to side, of that giant plane flying into the building.
They should see it coming from a mile away.
Exactly. New York.
You should be able to step right into the...
To me, it's bullshit just on that fact alone. Show us the And footage.
There was no way, because if you think about even their distance, they got surveillance footage from skyscrapers up high. That's why they don't have entryways and everything like that. So there's no way that the tallest buildings around could not see anything.
Plus, this is the Pentagon.
There's going to be security.
You think? Like, cameras all over that place. Infrared. They should have X-ray footage of the plane. We should be able to see through the plane.
What happens? Come
on,
the Pentagon is right here. All the other buildings are up here. Therefore, they're looking down.
Oh, yeah.
They clearly...
So why can't you see a 360 view?
But what did the pilots say? Have y'all heard what official pilots have got, like, so many hours of flight? I mean, these are professional pilots. Have looked at the maneuvers that supposedly were made by that plane and said that is not physically possible.
It's impossible.
The angle and the curve and the banking that would have taken
place is like a professional of 20 on up years could not do that if he tried his hardest.
Man.
It's impossible to do that.
That sounds familiar too, right? The official story always has to do with something that's physically impossible.
Yeah.
But somehow it got done.
So the end game here is they were trying to cover something up.
Yeah.
And days before the 9/11 attacks, the Bushes, the people who own the World Trade Tower, took out huge insurance policies. I mean,
they did. And what was his name?
That's just a coincidence.
And one of the Bushes, by the way, owns the security company that was security for the trade towers.
What's his name? That owns the building, the Twin Towers. He took out a
Silverstein.
Silverstein took out an insurance policy for both buildings, and it was specific silver lining. It said attack on buildings. Did you know about this?
No, I didn't know about that part.
I think I heard something.
Yeah, attack on buildings if hit with planes.
Yes.
Flown by terrorists, controlled by Osama bin Laden.
Boom!
This is like like a Titanic explosion. Wait, Titanic. Did that happen? No. That's probably the oldest conspiracy there is.
Oh, we got to do one on that one, dude. There's a lot of stuff around that one as well.
But China's building one, right? A new Titanic?
Yeah, Titanic 2.
Oh crap! Don't buy a ticket for that.
Did you see Titanic 2 for Asylum Films? Yeah, you heard me. Asylum Films. Watch it. They're great and awesome and bad.
Well, what's funny is the Titanic's sister ship. What is it called?
The Enola Gay.
No, that was the bomb we.
That was, I don't know.
Fried a bunch of dudes with.
So after I saw that footage though, and was brought up to speed on that whole conspiracy about them sinking that. Olympia, I think is what it's called. I said, you know what? There's got to be video in the 40s and 50s before they decommissioned that ship.
Yeah.
So I went and found some.
Really?
And sure enough, it's the Titanic.
Wow, dude.
Because of the window placement, the spacing between the windows, and the amount of port holes on the front of the ship.
It would have been
one
so
had 16
easy to
and
do
one
that.
had 12.
Hey, you know what?
You can go, and the Titanic had 16 and the Olympia had 12. Well, if the Titanic sunk, there should not be a ship with 16.
Exactly.
If you watch the movie Titanic, there's inaccuracies of that. There's 3 stacks. Only 2 of them were there.
Yeah, there's on 2.
And on the actual one.
Well, who else was on the Titanic? Well, whatever the boat was that they sunk. There was 2 or 3, rich bigwigs at the time, right? One of them was the owner of Macy's. Yes. And they were against the centralized banking coming in because they knew what that meant, and they all happened to be on the same ship together.
And then the Federal Reserve was
enacted. It was the Jekyll Island when they met at Jekyll Island and signed it into place.
You started to say shame because it is a shame that the same people were on there.
Yeah, isn't that interesting? How that always seems to happen. People that stand in the way always have an accident.
When something that close is not a coincidence.
Yeah.
It's It's for a reason. It's
Well, John, what would be if you had to pick your favorite false flag or conspiracy theory? What would yours be?
and you can't say Bigfoot. And you can't say Bigfoot.
Wait, should we pause for a commercial break now?
That's
All we gotta do is
5
ask
minutes.
John a question, and then we can pause. Because that'll be the pause.
Well, the one I probably know most about is the 9/11.
Ah, okay. Oh,
We
just
got 5
passed that
minutes.
one. Okay.
All right, what you think, man? What you got?
Well, you know about well, all right. What about Sandy hoax? What about that one? That's a hot button topic right there because it involves
Dude, I
children.
can
But I
talk
think
about
we all agree, though, that these are all hoaxes, right? I don't think any of us in here believe for 1 second that any of these were real shooters with real agendas that were not tied to the government. In some way,
there's
form, or fashion,
too
right?
much. There's too much evidence behind it. Like I'm gonna go to the Sandy Hook shooter. Oh, is it? Oh, is it Sandy Hook? I think
Sandy
it
Hook
might
is
be
the one at the school with the children. That's why this.
Okay,
one
well,
was
we'll
so
just go. It's
rough.
the Joker shooter. Okay,
Okay, yeah, we can do that
okay.
first.
Batman.
Now,
movie.
yeah, Batman, Joker shooter, whatever you can call him. Now, if you look at the guy, yeah, he was distraught. Didn't know what's going on when they pulled him in. Oh, I wouldn't know either. Some guy would just come at me with a gun, okay, wielding at my face. Now, if you compare the pictures of the guy with the red hair, distraught in the courtroom,
Yeah.
full on face side by side, and the guy that they claim that it is, and then that the guy that they said that it was, facial features, if you do the
Side by
side facial recognition, they are not a match.
Okay, now what about that though? What about that aspect to these lone nut gun shooters that we always hear about? It's always one person, right? In a lot of these kind of cases. Now you already know that, in my opinion, to answer your question, Huck, I don't believe that there's sufficient evidence to prove that these things actually took place, like the official story is. So that's my take on it. I'm not going to say that, for example, some crazy guy didn't roll up into a theater and shoot a bunch of people.
Yeah.
I wasn't there. I don't know that for sure. But the evidence in the official story they've given us doesn't make sense. It doesn't add up. Now, my thing about what you just said is, and I wonder, when they do this kind of stuff, they know there's going to be people like us that go, wait a minute. So I think they submit a bunch of extra false crap to just like muddy the water.
Well,
so
that's
they
true.
could have taken a
funny,
photo and tampered, because John knows this in Photoshop, could mess with a few of the facial features, submit both of them as supposedly being the same guy, knowing people are
Just
going to go,
to
hey, wait just a minute.
Just to kickstart
right,
us.
and then they're going to, there you go, down a rabbit
True.
hole that's total nonsense. I'm
mean-
not saying it is, I'm just saying that could happen.
And
I'm
really,
sure
the
they
whole
do
the whole
crap
thing
like
behind that, like I say this, I mean, it's like you're putting your face on his, okay?
Right.
His face is wider. Your face is slimmer.
Right.
Your nose has a slope. His is broader.
Right.
All together, the one guy's ears were actually like really wide and tall.
Right.
The other ones are low profile. His eyes were rounder. The other ones were more.
What I'm saying is, though,
profile.
they could have
It's
done
just-
something like
They
it in
could
like
have,
Photoshop and then
but
submitted them as both
altogether,
being the same guy.
That's so much work to do just of that. Altogether, you look at the guy. It's literally looking at you and John. You don't look the same at all.
Right.
I could point this guy out and say, "Yo, bro,
I saw
you
that
just put
comparison
red,
picture,
you put
and
red
a lot
hair
of
on
people
him. It
said
doesn't still
he
look
was
the same."
extremely happy for some reason in one of the pictures where he wasn't in the other,
Right.
and it was the lighting changed the perspective.
There's nothing you can do. Dude, you can be high off your ass off any drug or whatever, and you can be so euphoric. It's not going to change the way. Like ready?
Exactly.
Dude,
You're still going to
I
look like
really
you.
don't change that much
Right.
because my facial features have not been moved.
This guy's nose, the nose was the big thing for me. His nose was totally different. Long versus wide, slim and wide. I was
The
What
like,
we're
dude's
seeing-
ears
we're seeing
were
that
actually
kind of crap
really.
all the time.
They were out like this, dude. Like
Osama
so.
bin Laden, Saddam Hussein, where there's always crap like that with
Hey, it
multiple
was like,
versions.
oh, what happened? Oh, he got shot in the face like 5 times. His face swole up.
Well, what happened in
Dude,
the Batman?
I don't know about that.
What happened in that case,
Dude.
right?
who?
Okay.
In the Batman shooter, they
Batman
claim.
shooter? Okay.
He didn't get shot.
No. I'm
No.
saying what was the story?
He said
He just rolled up
Osama.
into a theater and just started shooting
He
people.
came in the back. He
Came in
parked
the
in the back. He came in one of the exit doors.
Right.
Shot the place up. Went back out. Sat in his car and waited on the cops.
Yeah,
to
it was. They used the exit door, and it was. Somebody said it was like cracked open or whatever.
So obviously
They
someone
were
opened
thinking
the
it
door
was a
for him.
second. They was thinking it was a second person involved that either opened the door or propped the door open.
And the
for
reason
him.
why they were thinking that is because the eyewitness accounts said there were multiple shooters. There
Yes,
were
and the
more
thing
than
about it
What
was
was to
when
stop
they.
him from buying a ticket? walking through one time, just walking through before everybody went in the theater, opened the door and put the door stop and just went outside in his car and waited.
That's an emergency exit, though, right?
Emergency exit. The alarm gets set off when you do that. That's why I say do not do that unless if it's red.
Does it always?
The alarm.
I'm going to the side doors.
That's what they tell you to go out. They don't allow that anymore unless it has. If it's a red deal on it, that's an alarm.
Well, it depends on if it was an emergency exit or not.
If it was an older theater, then they're not, because you can actually used to could go out.
See, there it goes. Alarm goes off.
Exactly.
Guys, let's take a break.
All right.
For listeners, we're going to take a little break here, and we'll be back in just a second and give you some more interesting discussion on these conspiracy ideas and false flags.
Yeah. We would like to take this time to thank everybody for checking us out here on the Paraspective podcast. We'd also like to remind everybody to please go check out our website, Para-holiX.com. That's Para-holiX.com, where you can find links to our Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, as well as information about us and what we've been up to. And now, back to the show. Back to the show. Back to the show. Para-holiX.
Para-holiX.
Back to the show. Back to the show.
Para-holiX.
And now, back to the show. Back to the show. And now, Para-holiX.
Para-holiX.
And we're back. All right. So, finishing up real quick on what we were talking about with
your session.
Yes. We're conducting a podcast here, gentlemen.
Yeah. I mean, I'm fully aware of what the hell's going on right now.
Do you have something you'd like to share with the class, Roy?
I don't have enough.
Damn it. All right, so we'll finish up with the Batman shooter real quick. I wanted to touch on the Sandy Hoax one also.
I like to touch.
But the Batman shooter one, it goes in a long line of these kind of events where at first, in fact, I think every one of them was like this, where the first-hand accounts of people that were actually there said that there was multiple shooters, there was more people involved. But then the official story always drains down to one, lone gunman every time. Okay, so in this case, the guy comes in, orange hair blazing. They called him the Joker. That's, Joker's hair is green. Was already a problem with me, comic book nerd. But anyhow, every time they called him the Joker, it pissed me off. Like, dude,
I was like, dude, he's just some random white guy.
So anyhow, so he comes in, he starts shooting the place up, and then when he's done, he goes back out, and he sits in his car, and he calmly waits for the cops to show up.
Real quick, I need to know how many people were shot.
I don't even remember, honestly.
Because at this time
it was a lot, and that's what threw me off. I was like, dang.
From what I heard. Now
9?
This dude was like, he has a clip of 30, okay? Because this is the AR event that everybody was freaking over.
Right.
Like, oh, it's the automatic rifle. I'm like, bro, that's the people that make it. AR has nothing to do with it in the title.
Yeah.
AR, that's the title.
Automatic rifle.
Yeah,
right.
Automatic rifle. That's what you're going with. Automatic rifle.
AR-15.
Well, hell,
that AR-15 company, they're getting
those guys. Oh,
there's no such thing as black publicity. Okay.
Dude, so I was like, that was my first deal. I was like the AR, it's an automatic rifle. I was like, no, it has two functions. Okay.
Yes.
Single shot, 3 burst.
Right. So he supposedly takes out a bunch of people.
Yeah, fully automatic is unheard of.
You have to shave down a pin on handguns for that. You have to modify the deal. When we recovered the weapon, that was not the case.
But when he gets back to the car and he's chilling, he just waits for the cops to show up. Now, what does he tell the police? What is one of the first things he tells them?
That I'm not sure. Go ahead.
Okay, I remember this because I thought this was very interesting. He told the cops that when they go into his house, his apartment, he's got bombs placed there. So be careful, or something like that. I think wasn't this the same one?
Why would you present that information?
Why did he go through the effort to booby trap his apartment and then tell him, oh, by the way?
I mean, did he just grow conscious?
Was the programming wearing off?
That his conscious was like, hey guys, you know what? I've done enough damage today. I've met my quota.
I didn't shoot any cops, so I ain't got to worry.
I was like, if I don't kill any law enforcement, I think I'll be okay.
Yeah, because
he made his kill list.
You pretty much become a cop punching bag whenever you kill other cops.
Oh yeah,
dude, you're out.
That's asking for trouble.
So this is something I wanted to share with us, and I thought about this. We were talking about Snopes earlier.
Oh,
so about crisis actors and different things.
Right,
real quick, Snopes. I don't that term you said it. What is that?
Snopes. Tell him real quick. What is Snopes?
Snopes is the reason he's all know all about everything.
Right.
They know if you got to know the truth about something, you go to Snopes, and they'll tell you if it's
like
if it's fact or fake.
Fiction.
So like Snoops.
So is it pronounced Snoops or Snopes?
No, but like a Snoop.
Right.
But
now, from what I understand,
is that their acronym or something?
Well,
I don't know where the name comes from, but
see, that's what I'm trying to. That's what I'm trying to find out.
Apparently,
I don't
it's
know.
a husband and wife team.
Oh, okay.
How they got elevated to this level,
I don't know, man.
If you want to know something's real or not, go to Snopes.com.
It could be a government thing. I don't know.
Yeah, I think
we
it
might look at
sort of.
It's the Jesus Network.
Yeah.
They know everything.
Yeah, and they also know that all conspiracies are nonsense, and they always go with the official story. I'm just saying.
Why would you do that? Then you don't need lawyers. You don't need any.
I think
everybody just be a slap on the wrist.
They're a distraction tool, because anybody that might be waking up and might be thinking for themselves,
told me about this.
They go there to look and go, I knew it was garbage, and they go right back to sleep.
Yeah. Well, they actually said the crisis actors uncovered is what they're calling it.
Yeah, what a surprise.
Their official statement is that it's false. That crisis actors don't exist.
Crisis
and
actors,
so
even though you can
there's no way. There's no way. Well, first of all, this is where I'm going to break this down. Okay, I established that one woman that was at the Sandy Hook, and then the Batman shooter defense lawyer.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Boom. That's one.
I'd have to see that.
Then if you go over there, there's this guy, this big chubby dude that shows up, and
check for Snopes for big chubby dudes. I don't believe they exist.
Dude, no, wait, you got to narrow down a little more than this. Pulse shooting.
The Pulse nightclub?
The Pulse nightclub. Remember the one where they go over there and they carry that guy off and set him off the corner, and the camera's still rolling, but the guy stands up on his own, even though he's shot in the leg.
And is that the one where they walk back towards the club?
Towards the club.
Right. Makes a lot of sense if you just was running for your
They
life.
went a long way out of the way. And there was nowhere out of the way. It was just them. And then the Pulse Club is way over there.
I know, but the problem was he kept telling the whole time that he's parked on the other side. So that's why when they finally let him go, he had to walk back to his car.
I think the biggest, in my opinion, the crisis actor from the Sandy Hooks, I saw this one just recently. The only reason I'm bringing it up. The father of one of the kids that was killed, the day that they were doing the news report, the day after, he was laughing. He was just laughing.
Oh, yeah, when
they were like,
why?
Because
we talked about
your kid. Your kid was just killed, and you're laughing, carrying on, and then whenever they were ready to film, he prepares himself.
He gets himself in character. Is what it looked like. How old was his daughter supposed to be?
They were 5 years old.
They're kids. They're just kids.
John here is got kids that age. Well, John, if your daughter, not but if something like that happened to you, are you gonna what would your response to that be?
Anything minute happened
to your kid in the hospital on life support, you're not going to find any time to laugh or smile. Right. Sorry.
Yeah, they've tried to explain that away. What do you think about that? I
wouldn't even be on camera.
That was
That's even better. That's a better point. I don't even want to be filmed. I'm
punching cameras. Get them out of my face.
It's why are you here? Why aren't you not following up on what needs to be done and finding this guy?
Well, they had this lady on here, and she's it's funny because she looks like. What's the girl that was married to Tom Cruise? What was her name?
Katie Holmes.
Katie Holmes. She looks like Katie Holmes.
That's another good reason to have Roy. He's got all that memorized.
Oh, well, IMDb.
So he is IMDb.
That's right. IMDb dropped you a line.
She's the same girl from Boston, shooting the Boston attacks, Aurora, Oregon, Sandy Hook, and Manchester.
That's the one.
That's her. Yeah. That's what I'm talking about.
So you look at
that's the face of death.
Let me see this.
She looks like Katie Holmes.
That's the faith of death.
If you see this lady,
this photo,
run
it says
for your
run.
life.
Yeah.
The same crying woman appears in photos taken at scenes of massacres in Sandy Hook, Aurora, Boston, Oregon, Paris
too. Yeah,
and Manchester.
That means that she just likes to travel.
So, on October 2015, 10
On
people died in a mass
dates.
shooting at Umpqua Community College in Rosenberg, Oregon. The incident marked the 294th mass shooting in 2015 alone and prompted yet another renewal of national gun control debate, of course. And folks on both sides of the political debate would likely agree that Sandy Hook shooting in 2012 was a pivotal point in perpetual.
Do you know how many shootings in England alone have
None.
a year?
None.
Zero.
A max of 6 a year.
Because the general populace are not allowed to own guns. The cops carry
Cops
Exactly.
carry
They're
sticks.
Bobby.
Yeah.
They're Bobby. They got the billy sticks to beat the hell out of you before they shoot you.
Who
That's
takes a
why
knife
they
to a
couldn't.
gunfight? British cops.
That's
British
why they
cops.
couldn't stop Jack the Ripper. I'm just saying.
Hey, you know what? He did
He's an American, by the way.
have a knife.
Yeah.
He did have a knife.
There's that theory that he was actually
Holmes. H.H. Holmes.
Yeah, H.H.
Man,
Holmes.
that
I've
series
heard
is coming. I want to watch
I've heard
that.
podcast on that.
That's
Terror
right.
Hotel?
It'll be that.
And I think it was. I want to say it was Hysteria 51 that did one on this. God, I hope it was, because it's going to be bad if it wasn't. But I think they did one on it, and their final review on it was no, it was not him. They don't agree, and they've seen the evidence to support that. And really, do you know who's really pushing that theory? By the way, it's the grandson.
Oh yeah, it's great grandson.
Right.
It's
So
grandson.
yeah, I mean, I don't know.
You can't. You know, it's not too credible.
Yeah, well, I mean,
mean,
if it is, it's
Yeah.
a big deal for him. I imagine it's very profitable, but
Yeah,
it's not.
that's what I'm saying.
If anybody was going to have any
Oh,
history on his travels, it would be a relative.
You think it would be? No, that's true.
I'll tell you right now, no one knows what the hell I do. Unless you're a travel
So
agency,
they're trying to
you're not
say
going to go
H.H.
over there.
Holmes was in London
Right.
during the time of the Jack the Ripper murder killings.
Exactly, and he was the one that had the murder mansion.
Yeah, the murder mansion in Chicago.
Right.
And well, back then they wrote a lot of stuff down too.
Now
That-
we have
most of it
come
was paper
completely
trail.
off the rails.
Yeah, we have.
We
But that was an amazing story. We need to talk about that.
We need
that
to
needs
do
to be a
one
Paraspective.
on what do you call it? Or we could just do an episode on serial killers.
Yeah.
That would be a good one. Okay, so back to what we were talking
I
about.
kill some cereal.
So
Fruity Pebbles.
two we haven't
That's
touched
what I was
on
gonna
is Sandy Hoax. We were getting there. The thing that I just told John about today is that, and I think y'all are both aware of this, how soon after that tragedy took place that they leveled the school? Was it like 2 weeks?
Jesus.
A week maybe?
Yeah,
Something like that?
It was. I would say within a week.
I didn't know they leveled the school.
You didn't know about it either?
Yeah.
Dude, school is gone. They just
It's like it didn't even have. It wasn't even supposed to be there.
they.
Like it was a mock-up school.
Oh, I think it was a real school.
It might have been a real school, but it doesn't mean that look it up.
But how many times? We just talked about this with 9/11. Whenever there's a terrible tragedy,
Now-
and they give us an official story, and they turn around and destroy all the evidence and get rid of it, where are the places does that work? When you look
Syria?
no, but what I'm saying
Iran?
is, yeah, but I mean,
to get rid of all the information of the past.
That kind of crap doesn't happen.
That's
except
coming
for
next,
these
pyramids
big
and shit like
terrorist
that.
type events.
I'm just saying.
The one we were just talking about a little bit ago with the shooting in California. The FBI went in. Once it was determined, first they thought it was white people. Ban the NRA. Once they found out it was the main guy's name was
NRA is-
Farouk, they were like, oh, they started backpedaling. Well, what I meant to say was,
Farouk from the nation, from the WWF.
no, I think as in an Islamic person. But the point is,
He was.
he was an American citizen, but his wife
he's
was
American
not.
citizen.
And she was brought over on a visa. They dropped the kids off with the grandparents and went and shot the place up. Okay, and they had body armor and they were fully loaded, ready to go. But it was just workplace violence. He just had a bad day.
Don't you have to have some kind of,
the
like-
wonders? Come on.
You can get records on who buys what.
I think you get
body
your
armor.
ass kicked if you ask me that.
You can just go over there and you can buy body armor. It's available to a lot of people.
Yeah, but the point is they planned this.
But what level of body armor was he wearing? Certain body armor that you see in some of these, they don't go back and say, "Oh well, where to get the clearance to get this level of body armor?" You can get this elitist, like stupid stuff, like from the Chinese and
Infidel
Russians.
body
They go over there and they
one.
just roll past you. They shoot you. You just bounce off you like you're like in a damn video game.
Listen,
or something.
but who remembers that story?
If you guys don't, y'all know about the dark web, right? I mean,
Yeah,
y'all
I know
know
what you're
the dark
talking
web.
about.
That's
You
an
can get
episode
any
all
and
its
everything.
own.
You can get any and everything off the dark web.
Yeah, you
So-
can get stuff you don't even know about.
Yeah, I
that,
know.
that you'll be sorry you discovered.
I'm pretty sure
I
I can
haven't looked, but I've heard it's pretty bad.
I have a
wanna
friend right
try to
now
get some
who is
musical
in the Philippines, and he's starting a shop in the Philippines.
Uh-huh.
I worked with him for about 5 years.
Okay.
And this guy has taken all of his savings and gone to the Philippines and do the stuff he can get. And he was telling me about the dark web. He's like, and you can go on this other side of the internet
The other
and
side.
get anything you want, you know.
Have you heard about that, John? The dark web?
Yeah.
You can buy
Pretty much just
drugs.
like Vice Land.
You can
and
buy
stuff like
drugs.
that.
You can buy
Dude,
That's
body
nothing,
armor.
dude.
You can
buy snuff films. You can watch
Yeah.
people tortured and executed.
Well, you can
and
do that on the
you
regular
can
web.
decide how you want it done.
Well, that's
you pay
yeah.
big money to
I've heard,
get
I've
this.
heard about sites like that. They made movies about that.
That's
And
Isn't this kind of like
and that's
Pizzagate?
another deal. There's a lot.
Pizzagate
There's
is
a
a
lot
whole
of
nother
deals to where what happens when tragedy happens. We make a movie, or the movie comes out, and then that tragedy happens.
Yeah.
But the tragedy was already going to happen because we made a movie about it.
what's your deepest, darkest fantasy?
I'm
We'll make
just
a movie
saying.
about
How much
it.
money you got?
Yeah, that's disgusting.
So I'm
But
just,
anyhow,
it
back
really
to the
does happen,
shooting.
though.
Oh, I know, it's freaking crazy. We can do one on that too. But what happened with this shooting is, do you know how long the FBI investigated these people in their apartment or whatever?
oh, dude, yeah.
Well, this is hilarious. A whopping 24 hours.
Well, dude,
Then they left it
didn't
open.
the landlord and somebody else come in and like?
That's
just-
what I mean. They
were
didn't.
going over there.
They
and
let
putting
the
through
media
thing?
in.
Yeah, they go for
It's live
yeah.
on CNN. They're digging through their underwear drawer and
Yeah.
crap. You're like, what the hell is going on
And
here?
the thing about it is, people have like gone over there and like they'll say that, yo, there's weird banging going on. We called the landlord and he said he saw crazy stuff too.
And that was the thing. People thought they were suspicious, but didn't want to call in on them because they didn't want to look racist.
yeah.
Because they're Islamic. They wanted to be politically correct.
You know, and that's honestly, dude.
Thanks, Democrat.
Wah, wah.
Hey, John.
Thanks, guys.
Hey, Shaggy.
Yes.
Huck. This guy right here,
This guy right
not
there.
so PC.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
you are in the right place.
I'm like, seriously,
we-
dude, I am like.
I don't dumb down to liberal and democratic rants. I don't. That stuff pisses me off. I'm not a Republican. I'm more borderline conservative of anything.
Yeah.
But I don't buy into not being able to say what I want to say because it's not politically correct. That's
Right.
bullshit. This country is
I was
built
like,
on
that's.
common sense. Where's that gone? It's like me and my
Dude,
wife.
right
out
another-
the window.
That's the
Logic,
same thing about
common
work, dude.
sense, and
I go over
everything's
there and say
gone.
the same thing. I'm like, look, dude, I gotta say something. You're doing something stupid. You need to stop that. And they're like, well, you can't say that at work. And I'm like, no, I have to say it because if I don't, you're gonna go over there and do something stupid. Don't do it.
The pissy part is
That's
that
where it comes from.
the pissy part is because of the color of my skin or my ethnic background.
That should have nothing to do
I
with
can't say anything.
Hey,
and
look.
it's like,
This is just for real. I told my boys this the other day. We were watching some video about the internet and how they're spying and all this. They're trying to shut the web down and everything. And how, he made some comment on there that you can only, right now, the most hated type of person is a white person. And it's doubly bad if you got a penis. So I told my boys, I was like, welcome to the most hated club in America.
Yeah,
'cause you're
a
always
white
wrong.
person with a penis. Yeah, that's the only person you can politically correctly hate. And that just doesn't even make any sense.
and it'd be politically correct, right?
Exactly. Okay, but back on track. What do y'all know about the Boston bombing?
Okay, that's
Wah,
it's.
wah.
I'll say it's a little vague for me, but for what I watched of the videos of the live event that happened, or the live video that they took, like to me, it didn't seem like
There's a lot of
stuff
problems with it. It's
It-
one of
it
my
didn't-
favorites to talk about, really.
It didn't. I saw a lot of stuff, and I was like, okay, you saw two people. They had backpacks. Well, there's a lot of bad people there with backpacks because they're there watching this run. Okay, so they're suspicious, but no one else is.
Now, John, do you remember we looked at this one? a lot. And when it happened, we were analyzing some of the photos, and I remember you from a Photoshop standpoint, and the visual skill you have. You were looking at the famous cowboy dude in the wheelchair that apparently he was pushing the wheelchair. There was a guy that got his legs blown off.
That guy was I think he was a spectator in shorts,
or was he a runner? Because he was
a runner. It was one of the two,
right.
But he was wearing shorts to begin with. Okay, but I think the guy was pushing him.
And again, I've seen a photo. Now I don't know. Yeah, that's right. The guy in the cowboy hat was pushing the guy in the wheelchair. Yeah. His legs from the knees down are gone. There's no blood anywhere. And from photos I've seen, that could have been faked. I'll admit that.
Or Lieutenant Dan. Go on.
Or Lieutenant Dan, yeah. Run, Forrest. But the point is, there's a crisis actor. Crisis actors do exist, by the way. Regardless of what Snopes says, you can be a crisis actor for, maybe not false flag events.
I'd love to get the people from Snopes on the phone and have a podcast about them. Just talk to them and say,
my brother's girlfriend has told me she's a crisis actor.
But they have a special group of crisis actors that are paraplegics and amputees.
And she hates those kind of things.
And there's a photo of that guy. And he is a crisis actor, and he has no legs.
And you know what? And for anybody to doubt that is going as far as saying that
the Earth is
George
flat.
George Soros did not run an ad in more than 20 cities across the U.S. on Craigslist.
Yeah, saw it on Craigslist.
Offering people upwards of $25 an hour
go
and stand in front of these Republican
the buses?
Yes.
The buses?
Paying people.
You're talking about a different one. Yeah.
So if you've got that, and that's so obviously true,
there was like lines of buses down the deal around the corner.
Crisis actors are real.
Now I don't know if it was a fake posting, but there was one on Craigslist. I remember not too long ago for crisis actors to be paid, and it was in Houston.
I saw that too. And I talked to you that I told you. I said, "Dude, did you see this?" And you go, "I didn't talk to you."
What? Let me look.
Because I believe you went over there.
And right now,
no.
Yeah, we're gonna look live right now. No.
I told you. I said,
happened.
I said, "Bro, I'm not even gonna lie to you, man." Because it was right as it happened. I looked at it and I said, "Dude, something's gonna happen."
Yeah.
And you went over and was like, "What are you talking about?" I was like, "Dude, there's a deal." I said, remember, every time something happens, they always say, when you least expect it. But all this has been happening, and then they said, "Oh, we're gonna come to Houston. We're gonna bond because the big game's coming to it and all that." And I said, "What's the biggest deal you can do?"
A sports
event that happened. What was it? The
Super Bowl.
Super Bowl.
Oh yeah.
And I said, "That's it, dude. That's gonna happen. Somebody's gonna do something." What happened? They didn't do anything, but there was a shooting shortly later in Houston of that.
Wow.
Okay.
Now, the Boston bombing thing. The other thing about it I found interesting is there was one of the runners that day. They apparently was able to get to him and get his interview before the official story came out. They got it like right on the street. I think his interview.
What network was this?
CNN? Yeah, no, I don't think so. I think it was alternative media probably, but I really don't know honestly. But the interview from the guy, he said that he thought it was odd that there was more police than normal. He saw snipers on the roof, and they had bomb sniffing dogs, and there was a guy on a freaking Alex Jones brand, freaking what do you call that thing that they? Come on, help me out here, guys. Y'all are staring at me. Yeah, the thing that you speak through and say, microphone. That kind of crap. Everybody's like staring at me like, tell me what I'm driving here. Thanks, guys.
I give you a chance, dude. Come on.
But anyhow, he said how, they were going around saying, this is just a drill, these aren't the bombs you're looking for. Just move along. It's like, what?
So that whole thing about them faking or shooting a scene for a false bomb threat, that's the whole precept for what you're talking about, right?
Right.
Yeah,
there was always a drill. 9/11, there was a drill going on the same day, the same time,
or the day
same
before.
event. Right, there's always something like that. Now, what else did people report seeing? And I've seen the photos and the videos myself. There was craft members everywhere, and not the cheesy kind. I'm talking about the members of that paramilitary group called Craft. And if you look them up, they got a skull emblem, I believe it is. They got their khakis and their black shirts.
Skull emblem with a hood.
They all had black backpacks, and they had that little white tag on the backpack, just like the photo you saw of the exploded backpack. I'm just saying. You saw those too. Remember we talked about it at work.
We did talk about it.
So...
I think it was supposed to be portrayed as a false, as a mock-up.
Right.
And it really just turned real, but it had nothing to do with those two guys.
What if it always starts
Although
out...
one of them was killed immediately, and we'll never get his story.
So it's a drill. They hire crisis actors.
And somebody just gets the opportunity to get the wind of this, and was like, you know what?
They do some real shit, and then just everybody that was involved. Imagine if you were a crisis actor and you were paid to be a part of this thing, and now you see it on the news and it's real.
It's like, bro, this wasn't supposed to happen. This is not what I signed up for.
Is that what you're going to do? You're going to run outside and you're going to go, hey, pap, pap, pap. You're going to run your mouth and you're going to end up dead.
Exactly.
And your family and so on and so forth.
So who's going to come out and go, man, I was hired for that. I got the check stub right here. Look at my check stub. Right. I was hired by the federal government to be an actor and all that.
I'm not saying that's how it went down. But the official story sounds like BS. And it does in almost every one of these cases.
Well, let's be real. There are military compounds all across the U.S. I think they're saying now they've discovered 6 or 7 in Texas alone.
Yeah.
These terrorist cells where there's these Islamic and Muslim terrorists training.
Their camps.
Training to attack us.
Yeah.
So it's not that unplausible that it happened. The fact of the matter is, we're just more concerned with how much of it was the government involved in.
Because how many times have you gone over there and seen something that you thought was fake, but was actually real, and then it was like, no, that couldn't have been, and then it actually was, and then it was like, if I go over there and tell you to stand outside, and then I tell you, hey, I got a guy standing outside right now, I need you to push him down. Yeah. But you were just supposed to stand there. I staged you.
I think that's what a lot of these events are, something like that. Now, I want to hear from John. I don't mean to put you on the spot, but I just want to know, based on what we're talking about, what is your personal, paraspective on this kind of stuff? These conspiracy, false flag events. What is your take on it? What do you think?
I don't really follow much of them.
I mean, you don't watch the news and don't keep up on a lot of this kind of stuff.
I definitely don't watch the news.
Do you think it's the official story, or do you think it's BS?
It's funny, you and I are a lot alike in this aspect.
I like to not watch.
They're more alike
news
in following up on these false flag events.
I follow what he follows.
I see it and I'm like, woo,
at the same time,
and I'm just don't. I'm like, I'm not gonna research it.
I kind of filter what he has because, at this, it's kind of a gray area when it comes to it because I don't like to watch the news because I look at it and I said, well, it's not news. Yeah. Because if you're telling me something that it's already happened and you're talking about it again, you're just trying to bring up the old to scare us again.
But to be totally honest, I haven't really looked into a lot of this crap in a while because as editor-in-chief of our paranormal videos, that's where most of my time has been. But again, what would be your take? I mean, for what you do know about it, do you think the official stories are accurate, at least in the ones you've looked into?
No.
Okay, and that's kind of what I figured you were going to say.
The consistency is so bad, dude. Like I said, everything is really gun control. Guess what?
Yeah.
Go buy a gun. Yeah, that's what that means. Every time gun control comes up, that means more revenue for everybody
who's really behind all these false flag events? The NRA. Because they get everybody run out and buy more guns. Dude, okay, well, speaking of that.
That was Charlton Heston's whole goal.
Where are we at on time?
Let's sell more guns.
Wrap this one up.
I wanted to mention one thing. You're talking about all this false flag. We got 3 minutes left. So there was a thing on the 24th. There's a website called Sheeple News or the
Sheeple Network.
It's
I know what you're talking about. Yeah,
like
about the crisis actors. So there was a Craigslist ad where they were looking for crisis actors for July 4th through July 6th in Houston.
coming up?
Yeah.
Yeah, because they're gonna have. They always have a huge event. And
don't go to Houston.
The Daily Sheeple is what it's called.
The Daily Sheeple. Yeah, I have
That's
heard
what
of
it's
that.
called.
I've heard of that.
And the ad read, "We're looking for crisis actors for government emergency drill, FEMA, between July 4th and 6th. Actors will be responsible for portraying different emergency scenarios in a simulated government terror drill. Terror. That's not for anybody. No experience is needed, by the way. Confidentiality agreements are required. Confidentiality agreements are required.
You go.
Now, why would you need that?
Pay is $200. Please message for details.
$200.
Craigslist.
We pay them $200, or you said
they
it pays?
paid.
Okay. I was
So
gonna say,
you can show up.
Okay,
and get
so
paid
I can pay
Now, here's the
$200
thing.
just for that.
is this
I
an
made that
official ad, or is this
It's like bootleg.
BS that's put out just to catch the conspiracy theorists? Call, see, I knew it.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So
what I'm saying?
this was saying it was a Craigslist ad posted 17 days ago. Our federal government is looking for crisis actors. Now this is so this actual website. They have a nightly news reporter guy that talks about it.
Damn government.
And they actually have the ad. So I just searched. If the ad was up, it's been pulled. So maybe they have enough people. I don't know. But I just did a search.
Daily Sheeple.
I just did a search on Craigslist for crisis actors needed, and it came back Nealt. So,
all right. Well, what's our wrap up on this? Who do we think is really? Do we honest? If we don't believe the official story, so it's not a lone crazed gunmen or Islamic terrorists that are doing these, completely by themselves. Who do we think is really pulling the strings here?
Who has to profit from it? Who has to profit?
Follow
from
the
it?
money.
the federal government, man.
It's
Federal
gotta
government, FEMA.
Because
But do we think it's not the government you see? It's not your
No, it's the federal
selected officials.
I believe it's a branch off of FEMA.
Yeah. So
Personally.
we're talking about a
and
dark
you can blame me for
shadowy-
being an X-Files freak, but I believe it's a branch of FEMA, and they're higher than our local and state government.
Right.
yeah, because you got your state,
Right.
you got federal, but who controls the federal?
So we're talking
Okay.
about a dark, shadowy. Right.
Yeah.
You always have,
aliens.
You always have somebody overshadow you.
Reptilians.
The reptilian
'Cause
overlords.
Just remember one thing: no matter who you are, what you do, where you're at, there's always going to be someone bigger and badder than you.
Damn it, Roy, that's so depressing.
And here, I'm just going to piss off some Masons real quick and say,
Oh, crap.
if it's been said that a third degree is the highest level you can go in Masons, but then you hear Masons actually say,
They shut you down,
damn you
bro.
iPhone, I shut myself down. But then you hear actual Masons say that's not true, that it goes way higher than that.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah.
Then what we see that we're being fed by our check writers
Right.
is just the bottom of the food barrel, food chain.
Where we are.
Yeah, we're the
If
lowest.
what did I say before? If it's a pyramid shape and the missing capstone is an unknown group, probably non-human. I'm just going to throw that out there. Every tier down is obviously another level, and the higher up, we do not know anything about that. Where do we fit on that level? We're not the bottom level, the brick. We're the dirt
holding
that
it
the
up,
pyramid's
dude.
on.
We're
Yeah,
that's
the
how far down we
full-on foundation.
Right.
Well, actually, we're lower than the foundation.
And people
because
at home, don't
yeah.
hate on my boy Shaggy for bringing up the alien conspiracy and the reptilian thing. He has purple hair, so
It's going to happen a
it
lot.
don't count.
so-
He's shape-shifting every day.
Just wait till we get to the Flat Earth episode.
Whoop, whoop.
I'm gonna be sick that day. I'm staying home.
But
You
real,
can, you have the
real
mics,
quick,
I can borrow my equipment.
you might find this interesting. KRS-One found, went over there and said, and you can find this on the web, that he comes out and talks about him being an honorary 33rd Mason.
Dude, KRS-One, dude, that's knowledge right there.
He said that he went over there and he studied for 20-some years.
That he is a 33rd
That
and
he's-
3rd degree Mason.
The honorary.
Honorary?
Honorary. Just
Is that a thing?
watch
No, you can't be a
Okay,
Mason.
Now,
no.
wait, did he say honorary or honorary? Because he's pretty
Honorary.
honorary.
He's
He
honorary.
is pretty
man.
honorary.
Watch the video. Look at it. KRS-One
Okay.
talks about being an honorary Mason.
Damn.
Seriously, 3rd degree. Yeah, it's on there. He talks about
curious.
it
Well,
because
KRS-One better not have no.
KRS-One.
He better not have a criminal record because I've spoken.
run.
I've worked with Masons before, and those guys tell
Those
you
bitches
straight
don't
up,
play.
you can't be in there unless you basically jumped in. I mean, you gotta be. you've got to be
Jumped
Yeah,
in like it's
he says I'm not. I'm
not jumped in. I'm being
like
funny. Obviously, but I mean,
amazing.
you've
Because
got
I
to
was
be
able to.
But who jumps you
learn
in?
under them?
It's the guys with the little hats, and they jump you in by running you over with those little golf carts. Puh, puh. How bad do you want this? Puh.
Those little cars
Yeah.
from the carnival. What do you call it?
the little
What do you call those guys?
the little
The
clown
clowns?
cars.
Bumper cars.
Yeah.
No.
Wait, what you're talking about?
Golf carts?
You know what I'm talking about, right? They're
Shriners?
The Shriners.
That's what, yeah.
You're trying to get in here. You gotta have one of these little twirly things on your hat.
I'll back up and burn out on you. The
Off the
Shriners.
rails. Off the rails.
All right, guys, let's wrap this up.
All right. Thanks for listening again.
Thanks for tuning in to Paraspective about shadow government conspiracies and false flags and things of that nature. And we appreciate you listening.
Any other final words on it before we wrap it up? John, you've had so much to say. This guy.
John said enough, dude. I don't think I can.
This guy.
I know. He never shuts up, dude.
Jesus Christ! I hear his voice one more time on. I'm gonna go insane.
It's really hard sitting on the same couch with this guy.
And to be fair, I've passed him the ball plenty of times.
You sure did. You sure did.
He's picking it up and
I don't
it
follow
right
dropping
to
it.
you.
stuff.
He's like, I don't know nothing about this. I don't even know why I'm here.
He's the new Roy.
And on that note,
All right. Peace out, homies.
What?
Pair of heads.
Do not insult me, Roy.
Once again, thanks for listening to us ramble on. I'm Shaggy, and I'm addicted to the paranormal, also reminding you to question everything and believe very little.
and I'm Huck, and I'm addicted to the paranormal as well. Also reminding you that conspiracy happens, and that's not a theory. Keep it paranormal, people.
This is J-Lo speaking, and I'm addicted to the paranormal. And we would like to take the time to thank our sponsor, Para-holiX Anonymous, where it's okay to be addicted to all of us.